set up for sand, or not sanding. I am set up to drill on this piece. What I've found, and I've done this before, is I have cracked these epoxy pieces in the middle of drilling, just trying to get too aggressive with them. So I'm going to drill somewhere right around 800 for this first one to get a feel for it. I'm still kind of learning at what speeds I need to drill these at. I do know I just need to not do a lot of trying to push it through there. Just taking my time, letting it come back out. So. Well, let's give it a try. Let's take it out and flip it around. This has bitten me in the butt in the past where they didn't quite meet up, but I was using a different set of jaws, so hopefully, and they were wooden blanks. I don't know how true they were, so let's try this. See if these holes connect. They should. Everything is running very true, so it should be okay. So let's find out. Well, that sounds like it punched through clean. Let's find out. Excellent. You probably won't be able to see, but definitely a nice clean through drill. So hopefully I'm going to do them all that way, and actually if that's the case, I'm going to back this drill bit back inside my drill just a little bit. I always hate when they have just a little bit of wobble to them. I like them more secure in there. So I'm going to back that up, grab some more blocks, keep going. All right, next process in this. Now, first things first, I'm going to take all of the brass out of the packages. So we get all the brass. I'll take it out, get it set down, and then I chuck it up in my drill here. and just very lightly get it to hold. Then I do got some 80 grit. Can't even see if I'm showing you anything. So I've got some 80 grit, and then I just go ahead and give it a little run, scuff it up real nice, flip it around. I said real light pressure. I don't squeeze it hard or anything. Done. Next one. That's how I do that. And do like this, spin, drill, and get the line of the sand paper, go around it, that way we glue in there, and hopefully glue sets. A little bit just goes up and goes in there. I don't know if it's around it. Alright, so got my little pliers. Got my cap loose. So what I like to do is, once I've got them all scuffed up, I use the medium fast CA glue. Stuff seems to work pretty good. And I always get this crap all over me, so gloves are on. I gave it a nice goobery coat, that way there's some, make sure it's all over. Twist it in, do the whole pull and push, get her in there. Get it just below the surface. I like to even it out. And then, so I have it in there where I lay it, I like to hit it with the accelerator. Oh no. Yeah. Accelerator from this side. Let's see. I've still got to run in there with the bit, flatten it out, even it out. So. Twist it in. A little bit under the surface. Got my gap. A little bit of activator. Set it aside. Now I'll just continue. Take a little bit of thin. I'm just going to put it around the edge of the bottom side of this and just try to let it creep, try to let some soak into the bottom. Oh, I might have put these two too close. Whew. It's okay if I get a little down inside these barrels because I'm going to be running a barrel trimmer through it to true up the inside of the barrel. So, no worries. Alright, after that we're going to take them over, get them on the lathe. Now, I'm not going to true these up to the face of it yet. I just want to run the barrel trimmer through there. Because just like that one, it's a little bit tight. So make sure we have all the clearance we need to get these through there. So here's the way I see it. Most of these are pretty true on the outside, and I'm going to turn down to it. And so I am going to use the little bit extra that's inside this barrel. It'll get trimmed off later once I get this fully turned. So it saves on that blade and trimming the whole thing for no reason, in my opinion. So. once you have them all turned and polished up and looking nice, the end of it's actually pretty easy. So you got to put these here little, I think they're called springs. So they go in each end of your seam ripper. So just kind of roll them up as well as you can. Stuff it down inside of there. Now you got one down in there. So then you just roll it up. Stick it in there. Push down. Sometimes they get a little bit stuck like that. They want to be a little feisty. So you just take your seam ripper part, stick it in there, and just shove her down right in there. So once you have that spring inside of there, then this holds your seam ripper real nice and tight. You couldn't get these things out if you wanted to. So once that's in, you gotta, and the ones I'm using have actually a stiletto, a nice little pokey, so that you stab somebody who's irritating you or something. I'm not entirely sure what that's actually used for. So I'm gonna sit down here. I'm gonna put the rest of these together and get out of here.